Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I made extra sure to unmute the mic this time. 3 streams in a row I've now done that. I did unmute the mic in OBS. I did not unmute the mic on the microphone itself. I muted the microphone for a thing I was doing yesterday that had nothing to do with the OBS. God damn it. Unbelievable. Literally unbelievable. I don't believe it. Hello again, how are we all? I'm starting again. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much, Pookie, for the 33 months sub. I did splash some love in the chat there, but you didn't hear me say thank you, so thank you, Pookie. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. How'd yesterday's game work out? I really liked it. But the entire playthrough is up on the secondary channel already. I uploaded it immediately after the stream yesterday because, well, frankly, it was an opportunity to squeeze out some views there because Australia got it before anyone else. And it did. Like, most of the replays of the streams on the secondary channel get, 25 to 50-ish views, depending on the game and stuff like that. This one racked up like 600 views overnight.
Hey, pat on the back! Pat on the back for this guy!
Thank you very much, Jackie. Coming in 5 months in a row. I do appreciate that. Let me just double check how many views the Untitled Goose Game first playthrough stream replay thing got on the secondary channel. Yep, up to 850 now. Not that it makes much difference on that channel, but whatever. Yeah, time to set up. Well, the macro wouldn't have helped me with the microphone this time because I muted the microphone physically, like the button on the front of the microphone, because I have switched over to using the Yeti X. I nearly called it the Yeti Pro Max. I've been thinking so much about the fucking iPhone in the last few days. Yeah, I've switched over to the Yeti X for a while. See how I like it. Repositioned it slightly today, brought it a bit closer to me. I think the proximity effect works a bit better on this microphone. Yesterday's stream, I was off mic a little bit. Not sure whether I like that about it, but I'll adjust. We'll see. How do I sound to you? Sound all right? How's the level sounding? Am I coming through loud and clear? Looks like I'm coming through loud and clear. Let me turn up just a little bit. So, hi. How you doing? With so many streams, you've been starting about the same time and going to bed these days. Yeah, I've been considering moving at least one stream, maybe the Saturday stream, to later in my afternoon. Just so we have sort of a better bookend of time zones. Because the streams haven't been going as long over the last 6 months. I've been keeping it to 4 to 6 hours instead of the up to 8 hours we used to do, because that was just kind of exhausting. And it also leaves my afternoons free to actually get stuff done, which has been kind of right. Yeti Pro Max X Plus. Exactly. So yeah, I think I might do what... I mean, Ali streams, she starts at about 1 p.m. local time, so I might try 1 p.m. Saturday for me. Because that won't overlap with Ali's, because she doesn't stream on Saturdays usually. Fridays I'll probably keep in the mornings, because Ali streams in the afternoon. I don't really want to overlap with her, because in a competition between our shared viewers, she's going to win. People always leave my stream as soon as she starts streaming. Which is fair enough. I like her better than me too. Star Sapphire, how you doing? What was that little fanfare I just had? I got no notification for it. I was a host. Thank you, Tito. Don't know who those people are. Those who? Ali? Ali's one of my best friends. ALLI90 on Twitch. I convinced her to start streaming 2 years ago. She didn't want to do it. I said, I'll bet you bigger than I am within a year. And she was. Easily. I have missed you, Star Sapphire. Where you been? Hope you've been well. Hope whatever's been keeping you away from the streams has been worth it. Hope life's been treating you okay. Been running a bit late this morning. Sorry about that. Like 20 minutes late already. I'm not even drinking freshly brewed coffee this morning. I had to rush down to the shops because I've got no food in the house right now, I realized this morning. Not even any oatmeal left for breakfast. So I had to rush down to the shops to get some ham and cheese croissants. which were not very good. I think that might have been yesterday's. But I'm drinking Dare iced coffee, triple espresso, which is just packed with ridiculous amounts of sugars. Oh, Jesus Christ. This one bottle of iced coffee has 50% of my daily recommended intake of sugar. I've been trying to keep down on the sugar ever since I came off keto anyway, so I don't stack the weight back on really quickly. Jesus Christ. Is this made by the Coca-Cola company? I bet you it is. Made by, bottled by, where is it? It's got to be here somewhere. Dare Coffee Co. part of L&D Australia. Oh, it's not one of the Coca-Cola brands. What do you know? It's not bad though. Probably because it's so sweet. Ugh. The irony is, I bought 2 of these because they were on sale. And I thought, oh, I'll grab 2. I'll have one this afternoon. Maybe I won't have the other one this afternoon. I'll just max out my sugar for the day. And I've already had croissants, so... Jesus. So, Minecraft, unusual for a said day, but I just felt like doing it. I was going to do Dauntless, but then I thought, well, we've got about 6 days till Dauntless reaches 1.0. We might as well wait to 1.0 day to do Dauntless, and then we can share out the community gift chest, Dauntless gifts things, and when it's more relevant and more people are playing and stuff like that. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll do some Borderlands 3. And I've completed the story of that now. So it would just be me grinding for guns, basically. I'm not sure how interesting that would be for you guys. Just sort of doing repeated little boss challenges and stuff like that. I don't know. But then I realized we still have a lot of work to do on the library. We should do Minecraft. I played Dauntless 2, you know. Do ya? I didn't know that. Well, you looking forward to 1.0 next week? With the gauntlets? They seem like they could be real fun to play with. Lots of combo-based stuff. Seems to work quite a lot like the hammer, in that it's all about planning ahead, but it should be a lot quicker and more dynamic than the hammer. So I'm looking forward to giving them a go. Use Warpike. Yeah, Warpike's kind of my... Well, Sword and Warpike are my secondaries. I'm a dualies player. Dualies main. I like the poo-poos. And I've got a really nice build for them that keeps me really sort of agile and survivable. Haven't done anything up there yet. So yeah, I've done a little bit of work down here since last stream, just laying down a bit more carpet. I think that was basically all I did. I think I put the lamps on the ceiling. I don't think we did that live on stream anyway. I did that just after stream, because we just needed some better light in here. I think I like them. But yeah, other than that, haven't done any work here since last stream. Most of the Minecraft time I've had booted up this week have been Minecraft sitting in the background while I play Borderlands or do a little Dauntless grinding or something, and just sitting at the spider farm grinding up tons and tons of spider web to turn into wool, and also zombie flesh to turn into leather. So we should go collect some of that so we can actually do something today, because that's what stopped us last weekend. We just ran out of materials. But maybe if you play, I'll join you on Dauntless, provided you don't mind Filthy Casual. No, I mean, last times we streamed Dauntless, we stacked up a group of people from chat. It was pretty fun. And yeah, I mean, Dauntless is one of those extremely rare games where I'm actually good enough to legitimately carry worse players. And I don't know whether it's just people who get good at games moved on from Dauntless to something more sophisticated and deeper, because Dauntless isn't that deep. Or it's just that by pure chance and because I really enjoy the combat in it, I just happen to get good. Either way, I'm very often last man standing. I really should make a medic build, especially now that we have build switches, loadout, I should say, loadout switching. I should make a medic focused build for when I am playing with newbies, so I can keep them alive. Hello, Mitchie. Don't sound like fun. I haven't touched it in forever. You're going to come back to it for 1.0? In 6 days, they bring out the actual 1.0 edition. Bunch of new features, new weapon. Zombie flesh can be... Oh, jeez. I forgot to turn up the noises. Zombie flesh can be turned into leather if you do like what I did and make a special data... Or not make, but... There's a little data pack, like a mod, but native. There's a data pack I use that lets me cook zombie flesh into leather. Which I feel like should be in the native game anyway. There should be more ways to get better leather. But it's one of a couple of different quality of life mods that I've got. Or not mods, sorry, data packs. Let's be clear. One of those little quality of life data packs that I use. If you type in !MC, nope, T-Dog beat you to it, it's already in the chat. !MC, it'll give you a list. Zombie Leather 1.0 is the data pack that I use to cook it up. Damn it, I forgot to bring the shulker box with me again. Actually, I don't think we need leather anyway. But I have been batching up a bunch of wool. We'll take this. How are we going on the push thing? Oh, okay. I think we should be okay today. I think we should be okay. My iPhone did not turn up, Mitchy, no. So I'm going to have to wait till Monday for that now, because the couriers don't work on Saturdays. Or at least these ones don't. There is one courier company that I sometimes get deliveries on Saturdays with. Always surprises me. They just turn up. But it's not these guys. Star Trek are doing the deliveries for Telstra. And Star Trek are Australia Post's pet couriers. And because they're Australia Post, it means they suck! They suck more than anything has ever sucked before. Australia Post are just like the worst. The absolute worst. So desperately incompetent, I have no idea how they managed to stay afloat. In some mod packs, you can dry zombie flesh into monster jerky, which is food. Yeah, I've seen that. That's pretty common in a mod pack, actually. I think that's part of... Is it Pam's Harvest? No, probably not. Nothing worse than snail mail? I don't know about that. I like getting stuff in the mail. I don't get too many letters and stuff these days, but packages are always fun. It's hard to email a product sample. Right, I need to make some more red carpet. Which means I actually need to get rid of a couple of pieces of these. We also have room. Alright, actually let's sleep so I can get to my dye farm safely. Don't know what's up. This guy does. He stands next to my bed, but he doesn't sleep in it anymore. It's so weird. Grab more of that. Right, red carpet. I feel like that should give us a go. Let's stash a couple more bits of that. We've got some yellow dye. Should have got that when I was at the dye farm. Shadowbringers made me ugly. Cry. What now? What does that mean? Oh wait, you mean the story for the new expansion in Final Fantasy? Right. I'm with you now. My brain caught up. I did not get the green one, no. I did R about it. I did go back and forth on whether or not I wanted the green. Wound up getting the silver. Because, fun little psychological fact. I held off getting the white iPhone for many years because I didn't like... Because the white ones used to have the chin bar and the forehead. Woo! 30!
Hey, pat on the back for this guy.
30-month resub, Curly coming in. Thank you very much for triple deck. That's triple deck is in 10. See what I did there? Triple deck. Wordplay. Everyone splash some love in the chat, please. Yeah, I didn't like the white iPhone because it used to have when they had the forehead and the chin on the phone before they went full screen. They used to be white, and I never liked that because it was distracting when you're looking at the screen. I like the black borders because they just kind of disappeared. But as soon as they went full screen, I went for the white one. Because what I found is when you're filming, people seem less intimidated by a cheerful little white phone than they do the black one. I don't know whether it's a psychological thing or I'm making it up in my head, but I certainly did notice it. That this just seems a little less threatening than a big black blob when you're trying to film something. People get less self-conscious or something. I don't know what it is, but also like the white. It's just nice. I don't know whether the silver is going to be as white as this. They call it silver, not white, so I don't know. I haven't seen it in person. Either way, I went for the silver one because it was just kind of a neutral color. And if I want to color it, I'll just get like a case, I guess. How's life been treating me? Ask Curly. Alrightish, I guess. Nothing too bad to bitch about, I guess. I've had worse. Okay, that'll do for now. Let's stash the rest of the white. Bring the yellow down for us. And we should probably take a few of these with us as well. About ready to make another batch of those soon. Let's see. Yeah, let's just worry about the carpet for now. Then we'll worry about the bookshelves next. But yeah, from what I've been hearing about, people who got day one phones and people who got them sort of a week early because they're big enough influencers and whatnot. Actually, I have no idea whether Apple Australia even do that. I don't know any Australian influencers who have ever gotten that sort of week early access. It's always been North American and almost always American, just USA, right? How many Canadians? Does Linus ever get an early Apple phone? I don't think he does. Alright, where's the patch? I'm missing something around here. I know I ran out. Oh, here it is. Kaiser. Hello there. Excuse me. Thank you. All right. What are we doing for lights above this? Is that going to look weird if I do this? What if we go all the way across, make it look even more deliberate? That's a bit much. That's not so bad, actually. A little square here, and then we break out. I like it. It's still pretty dark in here, though, isn't it? All right, I think that's the first floor carpet done, right? Yeah. Shall we? I guess I should figure out where the shelves are going to go before I start carpeting the floor. So, yeah, do I want to put extra yellow anywhere? Not sure about this big area here. I'm always tempted to put a little enchantment station there, actually. Be room enough for it. Maybe a patch yellow in here? Maybe like that. Yeah, we like it. We'll leave it until I put the books there and then see how we feel. Alright, let's go make some bookshelves. Zoop. Exactly. It is a library, yes. It's my big building of... what did I call it? Big brain building. That's what I called it. It's the big brain building. Where you and go to learn to be smarter and stuff. I always put a library in my worlds. Just one of my little signature moves. This is the biggest one yet. Zoop, zoop. Okay. What are you doing? Let's get some slabs going. And where did I put that leather? Ooh, here's a thought. Sugarcane probably hasn't been growing while I've been churning up the spider farm stuff. Damn. All right. We are going to have to... I don't know why this is so slow. It should be a really good farm. We're going to have to do something about the sugarcane situation. Is that going to grow on that? No. Damn it. I think what we'll do is we'll replace... What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Oh, I know. We'll grab some sand and we'll muddy up the back pond for a little bit. Just as an extra source of sugarcane. Just to get it pumping. Where you learn how to English, yes. Well... Is there a name for the language in Minecraft? Like the weird symbols they have on the enchantment table? Well, they used to anyway. Or you could read what enchantment you would get. Remember that, guys? And enchantments were just RNG. I mean, they still are to some extent, but now you can see what they RNG'd up before you go ahead and choose it. If you put a library in Blog's head, it would be a single bookshelf surrounded by cobwebs. That'd be pretty funny, actually. I don't think it'd look very good from the outside, but that'd be funny. Stop it. So, anybody interested in what's it called? A Cube World? Little RPG action adventure style thing. In development for years, and it's stalled out for a long time. Like 4 or 5 years, it just stalled out, and you never heard anything about it. Now, apparently, it's ready for actual proper release. The end of the month, I think. Not sure if the guy's timing is going to be the best, because we've also got Game Freak's new, similarly cutesy action RPG thing coming out called, is it Little Town? Little Town Hero? No, that's it. Yeah, so I'm not sure whether it's in his best interest to go up against that, but whatever. Should have gone through the town. Shorter path. Someday Blunty will awaken to the glory of Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, probably not. I've already kind of decided that World of Warcraft Classic wasn't going to be a thing that I keep playing. Not because I didn't enjoy it. I did. It's just way too much of a time sink. I mean, it's no secret it's a time sink, but it was way too much of a time sink for me. Oh, wait, I'm carrying it. Glad I gave it a go, though. Definitely had fun with it while it lasted. Alright, do I actually have any more anywhere? I do have 4 there. max him out. Sleep first though, so we can see what we're doing. That looks really nice. Yeah, I'm using the experimental ray tracing shader, ETGI. Not the one NVIDIA promised for the RTX cards. That's for Bedrock Edition. This is Java. This is the one made by Sonic Ether, one of the biggest names in Minecraft shaders since there were Minecraft shaders. Clever bastard. So many iron golems in this town. I don't know how or why. How long did it take me to build this entire world? Couldn't tell you. I've been keeping track, but we started this world fresh when the first snapshot of 1.14 came out. So, however long ago that was, that's how many months and or weeks we've been playing this world. Usually only about once a week though. Alright, so we better keep an eye on that. While that's happening though, I think we better... I'm the wrong way again. Go through the town, idiot. Like I said, while we wait for our paper stocks to come back up, so we can actually make bookshelves, we'll just keep... We'll carpet the top floor. Bug's been doing fine. Bug's chilling. Took all the seaweed out of his legs. I think there's still a few downward streams there because the fish keep getting pushed down, but he's doing good. Starting to think that guy's stuck. Let's go help him out. There you go. Right, let's put all this back away. Stash those there for now as well. Perfect fit. And we need some... Where did I put... There we go. Stripped birch logs so we can lay out the bookcases. Final Fantasy 14 is the definition of comeback story. It went from total clusterfuck to one of the most successful games ever. Well... I don't know whether it's... Is it one of the most successful games ever? Or is that just because you love it so much? So I almost never hear about it except for you. It's like, I think one or two other people come to the stream who play, but it's mostly just you. Singing the song. Is it really that popular? Oh yeah, it might also be that I don't personally know anyone who plays it because of the data center situation and the way they charge Australians and how it's all arranged. That might contribute. I always forget about that, which is weird because it's always one of the things that turns me off even bothering to try it. I'm of two minds whether to carpet over this. On the one hand, I like the contrast of the stone. On the other hand, if we don't carpet over it, we're going to have to light it up somehow to make sure it's not spawny. Which is fine. I guess we can hang lanterns from up there. Yeah, let's leave it open. I wonder when UK leaves EU, will we suffer on latency log? Actually, I wonder if that will affect things like the business arrangements of certain European servers for games and things like that. Will they have to change how they charge? I have no idea. All I know is that Brexit is an absolute clusterfuck. Never bothered to look into the specific details because I just don't care enough. Square ain't that petty. Well, I'm not talking about being petty. I'm just talking about the legality of how things are charged. Because I know when I think it was June last year, or maybe the year before, Australia changed the way GST works. GST is goods and services tax. It's a bit like Canadian VAT, in that sort of everything that gets sold has a 10% GST. And it used to be that didn't apply to stuff you bought online. So you could buy stuff from Amazon, usually quite a little bit cheaper than what you'd have to pay for locally. And they changed what am I going to do here, I wonder? Let's just go one deep on the yellow on this floor. So we'd have to worry about the entranceways and things like that. Sorry, what was the thing? Yeah, they changed the law, meaning that sites, overseas sites like Amazon, if they want to ship to Australia, have to pay the GST for Australian purchases and things like that. Which really screwed over Australians who buy a lot of stuff online. Because now it means, well, I can buy stuff from Amazon that Amazon stock and ship themselves, because they eventually, because of customer pressure, they eventually allowed Australians to buy from there again. When it first happened, you just couldn't buy from Amazon anymore. You had to buy from Amazon.com.au, which had a vastly inferior selection of goods. It still does. But now, any third party on Amazon I can't buy from still. So anytime I buy something from Amazon, I have to make sure it's shipped and sold by Amazon. Otherwise, it just won't ship to Australia because those third-party sellers don't have the capability to handle the GST requirements and shit like that. It's just overly complicated and it's fucked everything up. And all it was, the reason it was implemented in the first place, was big retailers like Harvey Norman stuff were just putting pressure via, retail lobby groups and stuff like that, because they couldn't compete or refused to compete with the prices that overseas places could sell stuff to Australia. So we get overcharged because they basically bullied the government and, got the little pet politicians who they contribute to enforce this new law. It's completely fucked up. Anti-consumer. But, politics is corrupt. Always has been, always will be. Depending on what you're buying from Amazon, if it's supply by Amazon themselves, you can't get the log off to Amazon EU. Yeah, it's certain things still don't ship to Australia, not because of the GST thing, but because of the brand themselves. So, for example, Apple products, I can't buy like an iPad off Amazon and get it shipped to Australia, even though it's shipped and sold by Amazon. Oddly enough, Skechers shoes are another one. I went to buy a pair of shoes the other day because I had a little money left on a gift card. And I thought, well, what am I going to do with this? Oh, I probably need a pair of new shoes. I'm starting to wear out the soles of my other shoes. So I found a nice little pair of Skechers I quite liked. Shipped and sold by Amazon. I thought, no problem. Added it to my order. Oh, can't ship those to Australia. What? So I got a pair of Crocs instead. Not the classic plastic Crocs. I found out that Crocs do regular shoes. In fact, I've got a pair already. Actually quite comfortable. They're not the hideous Crocs that you think of when you say Crocs, though. Crocs apparently have just expanded into a brand that does regular casual footwear. Who knew? Yeah, Skechers, Apple. There are certain things that they can't ship just because of the legality of shipping such things. Like, you won't find too many, like, battery backup packs shipped and sold by Amazon. It's almost all third-party sellers for that. And I know this because last night I went looking for one that would support fast charging because, of course, the new iPhones play nice with that fast charging now. And I thought, well, that'd be handy. I'm shooting with my iPhone at an event, being able to have a battery pack that supported fast charging. So I could more quickly juice up my phone if I'm running out, because I'm using it as a camera so much. Yeah, it turns out I'm going to have to buy that locally and be overcharged. Actually, you know what? I should email the Signet people. I wonder if the Signet person I was talking with still have that job. PR people tend to shift around jobs quite a lot. I'm never sure. I'll drop her an email and see if they've got anything new that supports fast charging that they would want to send me so I can make some content about in relation to whatever coverage I do with the iPhone. Actually, that's probably a good idea all round if I think about it. I should send out a few emails to some other places that have sent me accessories in the past saying, hey, new iPhone's out, of course. You got anything new you want shown off? What do you got? Actually, I have Croc boots. Used to be part of my Riza Hawkeye cosplay. Yeah, no, the regular Croc shoes I got are actually quite comfortable. Not the best shoes I've ever owned, but they're pretty dang comfortable. And for the price, they're pretty good value. Right, we need more red wool already, or red carpet. Are you going to put light under the carpet or use lanterns? I did put light under the carpet. We tested that around this area. And while it would, provide light technically to Minecraft, it didn't actually light up. Like the shader doesn't allow light through the carpet, so we don't get a nice underglow or anything, which is what I was hoping for. So no, I won't be doing that. I'll be using external lights. Lanterns around the place. Thanks to Harvey Norman's crap, now can't buy Amazon gift card in Canada using Australian dollars, even with PayPal. A friend of mine up in Nova Scotia. That's weird. Zoop. Had a red dye already? Wait, box. Man, I always vastly underestimate just how quickly we go through carpet. This guy always crowding my door. In or out, dude? In or out? Alright, here we go. Let's check on the sugarcane out of the way by. Surely we've got a crop by now. Or having no push crap. I could use my Amazon account, pay an Australian dollars for a gift card loaded in Canadian for my friend to spend themselves. Oh, I didn't know that. And even this stuff's growing slow. hello, Anthony. Just finished work. Start my weekend now. Hooray! Hooray for weekends. Well, I mean, technically I work every weekend because I'm streaming and that's work. Kind of. Streaming's a tough job, I tell you. At least it is the way I do it. Do I make it look easy? Or do I make it look hard? Giggity. Actually, it can be a pretty hard job. If you're in the right mood at the time, it's pretty easy going. There are people who work a lot harder than I do at it. They have all their little gimmicks and their little special scenes, and they do bits and they script stuff, and you know. Whereas I just start playing a game, talk to the chat room while I do it. Definitely don't work as hard on streaming as I do on the YouTube stuff, at least. That post-production stuff does eat up a lot of time and effort sometimes. I kind of went away from doing a lot of post-production recently. A lot of my videos have been ad-libbed, or just me sort of using this camera. I thought maybe a slightly more improvisational style would be fun for a while. And it was. But I don't know if it... I don't think it was beneficial to the overall quality of my content, so I might go back to a more deliberate and planned style. I've also been slowly ramping up the camera stuff again, doing more and more of that. Hasn't been a lot so far, but it's been plans, preparations. Because quite frankly, I like to change things up every now and again. I have been missing doing the camera stuff. I did stop it for a while because, and I've talked about this before, I got bored with the camera stuff. Just from a personal point of view, and because the stuff that was being released was not very interesting. The market kind of stagnated for a while there where nothing new was being done. It was just tiny iterations or updates for the sake of updates. Over the last year or so, that's changed. There are more and more interesting new cameras with new features and new ideas, new designs. So I'm starting to get rather enthusiastic about the hardware side of cameras again. I was watching some Elia Liccardi. So anyone's into photography might know him. Landscape photographer, does a bunch of YouTube videos and has done a bunch of sponsored stuff and full-on seasonal productions of YouTube content and Patreon stuff and things like that he does with another big brand. I was watching some of his stuff the other day just while I was... What was I doing? I think I was just grinding in Borderlands, actually. Just had it on the background. But yeah, one of his seasonal... The 13-episode season travel vlog / photography video thing he did was sponsored by SmugMug and or Flickr, who I think may or may not be actually owned by the same company these days. But it reminded me that Flickr existed. I was like, all right, yeah, Flickr exists. I wonder what's up with that now. So I logged into my Flickr account to see what had changed. And I was looking at my old photos that I uploaded. I don't think there's anything newer than about 5 years on my Flickr account. I was looking at my old photos and I went, hang on a sec. I used to be much better at photographer than I am now. Like the stuff I've been taking recently is not nearly as good as this stuff. I've let my skills lapse. I gotta go out and more photo walks. I gotta try again. Some of these photos are really good. And the stuff I've been doing recently, not so much. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not very inspired. Need to go. Have fun. Make lots of the P word. All right, Jason, thank you very much. Hope your day is nice. Let's go out from here from the stairs. Yeah, I think this is going to... Should we go all the way across? I was going to go in, but I think that might look weird. Actually, going across might look weird as well. Just box them in. Yeah, let's do the... We path down. If we don't like it, we can always change it. It's Minecraft after all. Yeah, I think it looks alright. A little jaggedy do there, because we've got this slightly pushed forward rather than back. Yeah, I think I like that. I don't think we need anything else here until we get the shelves in, and we'll make more decisions. Bought a new graphics card. Amazon raised the price twice before I did. Jeez. What card was it? What's going up in price? Going to throw wool blocks under the glass Monty. Which glass? Oh, you mean... Yeah, that might be an idea, actually. I haven't decided whether I'm actually going to keep these glass walls here. I think I will. Yeah. I think throwing... Although if I did that, because that's also the ceiling, it'll look weird from underneath. But I'm okay with the raw wood because we've got the raw wood on the stairs here anyway to sort of balance it out. I should start making my floors and ceilings too deep so I can make changes like that without screwing everything up. Ah, 1050 Ti. That's why the price is going up. Because they're getting rarer and rarer. Not really making them anymore, I don't think. Actually, I saw a leak this morning that NVIDIA are prepping a... What kind of middle... There we go. Prepping a 1650 Ti to come out soon to sort of help them compete with AMD's pricing structure. What have I done there? Wrong material? Or is that just because... Oh, no, that's... So I did that underneath, right? No. Never mind. Need a travel camera for my trip to Japan. Your videos have been a wealth of information. What kind of camera are you looking for? I think we might just leave that wood raw there. I mean, what are you just doing sort of street photography type stuff, or you want to do big landscape stuff, or do you need it to be pocket sized or just baggable? I think they'll send you one to review. Probably not. NVIDIA haven't sent me shit in ages. I might be able to get one from like Gigabyte or MSI or maybe Asus. But those normally don't come at launch. Those are a little bit after launch usually. It's usually the... Like if I'm going to get it pre-launch so I can do a review on day one and stuff. That usually comes from direct from NVIDIA, and they just don't talk to me anymore. They changed teams a little while back, and whoever the new team is, I don't think they like me. Alright, I think I'll do the one deep yellow around this one as well. That way, the yellow carpet will match up against the pale wood we've got there. Sorry, not pale wood, the brick. I think that's going to look good. But later than never, especially if they are hella expensive. Well, the 1650 Ti probably aren't going to be hella expensive. They won't be RTX cards for a start, and they're designed to, you know, the reason NVIDIA do a card like this is because they're, you know, the 50 series card is just not competitive price power wise with AMD, what they've got at that sort of end. So they bring out a Ti version of their low end card. And it's like, hey, try me now. NVIDIA make really weird decisions sometimes. Should be a pretty decent card though. I mean, if the sort of standard formula holds true, a 1650 Ti should perform somewhere close to, well, I guess if you're sort of running a 970 or something, that'd be upgrade path. We'll see though. We're starting to see all the third-party 5700s and 5700 XTs come out now as well. Actually, might try and get hold of one of those. Because I do have the 5700, like AMD's edition, which I really like from a power standpoint, power and price. But it is a blower style card, which is not my preference. Because they do tend to be louder. And as a person who streams, loud fans are my enemy. Or even does any recording, really. It's the reason why the secondary machine is still got the 1080 Ti in it, even though the 5700 outperforms the 1080. Actually, no, not 1080 Ti, it's just the regular 1080s in it. It outperforms it in most games. But it's just... it's too much loud. I mean, it's not obnoxiously loud, but it is louder than the 1080 I've got in there. Noticeable enough that it's not a practical choice for the way I work. I thought a zombie came in there. Where are these zombies at? Keep bringing zombies around, but I can't find them. I wonder if they're in a hollow somewhere. Oh, no, there he is. He's burning to death somewhere. There he is. Hi. Hi. He's in my garden. No. I don't know why I just didn't grab both dice as I'm there. Time to feed your doggos. Alright. Say hi to the pups for me. Gonna be getting into tweaking my PC recently. It's real faff, yeah. Yeah, that's when you start sort of diving into fine-tuning everything possible, it can be a fiddly thing. And sometimes for any marginal improvements, you know, a few frames here and there. But it is kind of fun. And kind of satisfying. It's free performance, yo. It just occurred to me, another annoyance of my iPhone not arriving yesterday and having to wait till Monday for it. I have to go out Monday. Or I don't have to, but I need to go out. Because there should, in theory, as long as tracking is true, there should be something in my PO box that I may get a try. I want to go collect on Monday. I don't have to. It can wait till Tuesday if it has to, but I would like to go get it. The plan was to go get it on Monday. I've got a special adapter coming in for review. What they call a DOF adapter, or depth of field adapter. Once upon a time, there used to be basically MacGyvered together little devices, handmade little devices, and that budget cinematographers used to use SLR lenses on things like camcorders. What they were basically projecting the image circle from the lens onto a special piece of focusing glass that would normally be used in an SLR eyepiece or prism, and then shooting that using a macro lens from the camcorder. And in that way, you could kind of cheat your way into a kind of full frame look from a camcorder lens. What am I doing? That kind of fell out of favor when DSLR started shooting decent video with the 5D Mark II and onwards. So depth of field adapters became sort of a thing that nobody really cared about anymore because you didn't need them anymore. Then they kind of came back a little bit when a company called B-Script brought out a depth of field adapter to use with phones. And I had the first version of that. Did not work very well. You have a very grainy image. Just the focusing screen they were using was not spectacular. Very tricky to use as well. Then they brought out a different version, which apparently worked quite well, but I never used. But now, there's another company doing one. And they're sending me one to test. So, it'll be quite interesting. Theirs, however, does not use DSLR lenses. Instead, they've chosen the Sony E-mount. With the Sony mirrorless cameras. Of which I have no E-mount. Well, I have one E-mount lens, but that's one of the kit lenses that came with the... what was it? The R5? Or one of the second gen Sony mirrorless cameras. It was crap. Almost never used it. It was so bad. The interface was just awful. Such a misery to use. So, with this Sony E-mount depth of field adapter, I've ordered a few different lens adapter rings to use with it. So I should be able to use my M39 lenses, my rangefinder lenses. I should be able to use my Canon lenses. I think I've got a Nikon and a Pentax lens around here somewhere that I should have the right adapters to go to it. And also maybe even my C-mount lenses, although the image circle is a question there. Should be a lot of fun though. Unfortunately, they offered to send this out to me just before the new iPhones. And they say they don't have the adapter case for the new iPhones ready yet, so I'm going to have to switch back, at least for shooting, to my iPhone XS Max. Yeah. Should create quite an interesting look. Should be quite unique. And if it works really nicely, I may even shoot a day at PAX with it. That's something I've been thinking about, actually. If I can get myself to PAX, and that's still kind of up in the air, whether I can scrape together the budget for that. It'll be a very last minute thing if it happens. Because I won't be sponsored this year, it means I don't have any brand responsibilities as far as content goes. Bloody hell. Which means I don't necessarily have to take my good gear. So I might just shoot the entirety of PAX with my iPhone instead and go super ultra duper lightweight. Not even take my good camera, a proper camera. put the iPhone to the ultimate test. See if it can pull me through that event. I've done a day shooting with various iPhones at that event because, you know, PAX normally happens at about the same time as iPhones release. So sometimes I'll do a day or half a day just with my camera in my bag and my iPhone only. We need to go back get more wool. But before I do that, let's put the yellow away so we actually have room for more wool. What was I saying? I lost myself in mid-sentence there. Let's actually remember to take a couple of these with us this time. Have you played around? I haven't done any tilt shift stuff with a proper tilt shift lens, no. I played around a bit with various filters and things like that in post-production and or live filters that emulate the tilt shift effect, but I've never actually used a proper tilt shift lens. Mainly because they are very niche, which makes them very expensive, and I've never been able to justify it. And even when I was being sent lots of, you know, lenses and cameras to review, when I had, you know, I was doing basically nothing but photo content for a little while there. I had easy access to a lot of stuff. Even then, no one ever offered to lend me a tilt shift lens because they rarely get released. And even when they were, it's not the kind of stuff I usually shoot anyway, so I wasn't, you know, my audience is not a priority. The kind of people who buy tilt shift lenses. I don't shoot a lot of architecture well, I mean, I do shoot architecture, but not for architecture's sake. It's urban landscape is what I do more often than proper architecture work. So yeah, I haven't had any easy access to a proper tilt shift lens ever. I would like to, because they do sound like a bit of fun. But that's all it would be for me, a bit of fun. I certainly wouldn't use it for its intended purposes of, again, architecture mostly. It would be for that funny little miniature effect you can get. Sheesh. So noisy. So noisy. Man, the amount of times I've done this over the last week. Sit here and make endless batches of wool. Thought I had made plenty, but I'm starting to second guess myself. Although we are on the final floor now, aren't we? Shush! So noisy. Expenses my main issue there as well. Yeah. They're one of the most specialist lenses you can get. That just inherently means they don't make very many of them, which also inherently means they're expensive. Trying out new photo editing features that came with iOS 13. I'm like, yeah, I haven't actually tried that myself yet. I did install iOS 13 on my NS Max, but have not played around with the new editing features yet. I'm actually quite looking forward to being able to correct some video stuff real quick. Especially if I could have do PAX iPhone only. Like if I don't even take my laptop, I just capture and edit everything on the phone. Just to put it to the ultimate solo production test thing. Sounds like a bunch of fun. Yeah, being able to have a lot more power over the video. Sounds exciting. I mean, you can do some of that with... I always forget the name of the editing software I keep recommending. The name doesn't stick in my head, but it's really powerful. The bloody hell's it? LumaFusion. Hang on a second, I've got a text message here. Oh, it's just about my Amazon order. It's on its way. What was I saying? Lost my train of thought again. It's talking about... Oh yeah, the video editing on iOS 13. Yeah, just having that built in sounds wonderful. Just like I said, you can do some of that with LumaFusion, but that's when you're already in the editing process. Just being able to sort of batch out a whole bunch of stuff ready to go. Sounds pretty good to me. Especially, I haven't tried any of this yet, but especially if I can set up one of those new iOS shortcut macro type things just to apply a look across a bunch of files all at once, or crop them a certain way all at once. Like if I wanted to crop them to, you know, CinemaScope sort of aspect ratio or something. No idea if that's possible with the way the shortcut macro thingies actually work, but the idea excites me. I haven't checked if iOS 13 is ready for my 32GB iPhone 6. I don't know if it reaches that far back. May do. It's funny. I love how people give Apple grief for, oh, the planned obsolescence. The new version of iOS doesn't work on my phone anymore. Yeah, I think you'll find that iOS support their, or Apple supports their phones for quite a lot longer than most Android company based phones do. Those you're lucky to get one full update. It's one of the things I hate most about Android phones. You just never know whether you're actually going to get the next big update. Some companies do, some companies don't. Some models do, some models don't. There's no consistency to it. Sometimes you have to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, even if you're with a big company like Sony. Some of their updates take ages to come through. Yeah, it baffles me that people give Apple grief for not supporting their phones for longer. Oh, my iPhone 6 doesn't support. Get off the door. Apple haters are weird. Just hating an entire brand for whatever justification they have. I mean, it's not like Apple is a particularly evil corporate citizen like some companies tend to be. They're not angels, but I mean, come on. Some people act like they're the embodiment of the devil himself. Right, what do I do with that yellow? Snatch some of that back. Back to work. I only give Apple flak for... Yeah, that $1,000 monitor stand, yeah. Feel free to unload on Apple for that, because that is just absolute ridiculousness. So obnoxious. They're giving Apple grief for their phone, or because they have 3 cameras in the shape of a triangle and some people think it looks a bit ugly. I mean, come on. I bet you in a month nobody's going to care that the... Funny thing is, who was it? Was it Motorola? Also just announced a phone that has a big multi-camera lump on the back. Nobody's given them grief about it. I haven't seen one meme about the multi-camera phone on the back of the Motorola. Big circle right in the middle of the back thing filled with camera lenses. Nobody's memeing that. Just tall poppy syndrome is what it is. People love to hate on whatever happens to be popular. I tweeted about this yesterday as well. One of my favorite things about iPhone launch day is going through Twitter, going through the hashtag, and seeing all the anti-Apple or Samsung fanboys or Android fantards and whatnot losing their minds over they can't understand how people still line up for the iPhone. It's just not because they like it. It's okay for people to like things you don't like, dude. Get over it. They're just screeching into the void on Twitter. Not at anyone in particular, just in general. I don't get it! Why do people like iPhone? They suck! Sheep! Apple sheep! It's okay for people to like things you don't like. Relax. It's okay. With time and therapy, you'll get over it. It's fucking hilarious. People get just so worked up. I don't know whether I want to do the yellow down this path, because if we do, I'm only going to leave one red stripe down the middle. Is that going to look weird? I guess we could try it. My iPhone 6 is on iOS 12.4.1. No update to iOS 13 yet. Yeah. I reckon you might be out of luck on that one. I did find out something rather cool the other day, though. You know that cool multi-camera feature they showed off with the Filmic Pro on stage at the Apple event where they released the new iPhones? That is coming to the now previous generation of phones. As of yesterday, it was current. But yeah, if you've got a 10S and things like that, it is going to work. You can do the multi-camera shoots on that to a limited degree. Because it doesn't quite have the same power as the A13X chip or whatever it was. There are some limitations in resolution and frame rate, what you can do versus what you can do on the new phones. But you'll still be able to do it, which is awesome. It also means that I could potentially keep this thing in service and do a 4-camera shoot with 2 iPhones. Which would be amazing. I like iPhones because of their accessibility features, because of the camera. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly... Some of it's the hardware for me. I mean, the Apple chips, like the A10, 12, 13, their CPU, GPU custom chips are incredibly powerful. Like, being able to easily, and I mean easily, edit relatively complex 4K video productions on this is astounding. And I have tried to do that on a few Android phones. None of the highest end ones, I'll admit. And it's a miserable experience. And Apple, I mean, it's a smoother experience than my MacBook Pro a lot of the time, to be honest with you. Just because of the, what's the word I'm looking for? The damn it, words, brain. Cannot think of the word I'm looking for. The word for efficiency. Anyway, the Apple chips have stuff and brains inside that are specifically designed to churn video. Whereas, an Intel or AMD CPU do, but it's not used in the same way. Just because of the nature of the way iOS works. It's incredibly efficient. And the other reason I prefer iPhone is because it just makes my workflow faster and easier. Just the overall way they work. Alright, yeah. So let's go get some of my glass panes. I'm going to replace all that fence stuff with the glass panes because I've decided I like this. This was here as an experiment, but I like the sort of modern edge this gives it, especially with the shader. So we're going to do that everywhere. Hardware encoding is what I was talking about, but there was another word I was talking about that was optimized is the word I was looking for. There is hardware on the Apple chips that is highly optimized for churning video. And I mean ridiculously well optimized for it. Like industry leading. And that makes life just so much nicer all on its own. But it's also the app ecosystem from a third-party point of view. And I've talked about this many times. Because iPhones are a set target, you know, there's like 2, 3, up to 4 current models at any one time. And usually 2 of those models share the same camera hardware anyway. Like in the case of the iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro, there's only sort of, you know, they share the same camera hardware, except the Pro also has the telephoto. It makes life as an app designer a lot more efficient as well, because they have a single target they can really optimize for. Whereas Android, lots of choices. There's no phone that kind of rules the industry. I mean, there's more Samsungs out there than anything else, but there's still HTC and Huawei and all that kind of stuff, and they've all got their slightly different tweaks on it, and different resolutions, different cameras, and different focal lengths, and different imaging change, and different processors, and different, you know, there's so much stuff to try and account for in an Android app. They tend to perform worse, and in some cases don't have all the features that the iOS equivalent has. So from a content creator point of view, you know, iOS is where I want to be. Glass I was looking for, wasn't I? We'll keep some of the red carpet in case we need it. What's that? Light great, there we go. There's some left. Excellent. Let's check on the sugarcane. Kind of want the Asus ROG phone. I actually haven't looked into that. I mean, I saw it was announced and everything, but I haven't looked at any details of it yet because, I mean, I like Asus as a company. Everything I've checked out from them recently has just been baller. But a phone based around gaming doesn't super appeal to me because I don't like mobile games. They almost all suck. And I spend very little time playing games on my phone. Especially now that the Switch is a thing. But, you know, that's just me. I'm not saying there is no market for a gaming phone, because clearly there is, otherwise nobody would bother making one. And especially in the Asian territories, where mobile gaming is a lot more popular. And I think the mobile version of PUBG, I'm not sure whether this is true, but I've heard it repeated a few times. The mobile version of PUBG is more popular than the PC version. Like it has a bigger player base. Maybe that's just in the Asian market, or maybe that's overall, but it sounds like it could be true. Because PUBG kind of failed on the PC platform anyway. Especially once Fortnite came along. People played PUBG because there was no other popular option. And Fortnite came along and was like, oh, here's a battle royale game that actually just kind of works. It's not a complete clusterfuck of buggy fucking programming. Somewhat torn between iOS and Android. iOS is easier to set and forget. Easier on the eyes. Android gives more flexibility in tweaking. Yeah. But I mean, what kind of tweaking are you talking about? Is it all that practical, or is it just tweaking for tweaking's sake? It's nice to know you can do it. Because for me, obviously, I think, you know, the more closed ecosystem iOS is well worth the trade-off for everything else I get and how much easier it makes my life. Should I do one on this side? I think I will. Although that one removes that little dog egg here, which I kind of like. Wait, did we do that right next to the stairs? Yeah, we did. So maybe... let's try it. Man, placing glass panes is always my least favorite thing in Minecraft. It gets so fiddly sometimes with this hitbox, especially when you're running a shader pack and you can barely see the edge. Maybe I'll try from the other side. That's a little bit easier. How do we feel about that? We feel good. I've always used Android, not had issues, so I prefer it. A couple of times I've used Apple years ago, had a few issues. Fair enough. Mostly side-loading apps that have to go through a store. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice thing to do, but it's also such a huge window for malware. There's so much malware that spreads through that side-loading stuff. I mean, there's even a bunch of malware that you can just get straight from Google's own fucking storefront because they don't vet anything properly. That's one other thing I don't like about Android is so just festooned with viruses and malware and spyware. And I'm not saying iOS is free from it, but it's much more common on Android. I mean, there is a number I saw in an article a few weeks back, and I think it was like something like more than 80% of torch apps. So an app that just turns on your flash for use as a torch, right? Almost all of those on Android have some sort of spyware in them that either is a flat-out virus or some sort of malware or a keylogger, or it sends your personal information to a server somewhere, or, you know, or your address book and stuff. Which is weird because I don't know why people even need a flashlight app anymore, because every phone I know about, you can just turn on the light from the... You don't even have to unlock your phone. Like an Apple, you can just do it straight from the lock screen. There's a button right there for it. I use it all the fucking time. I think most Androids have something like that on lock screen too. So I don't know why people need flashlight apps anymore. Whatever. Maybe it's all those people on cheap-ass piece of shit phones. I'm almost tempted to mirror this on the ceiling. But then again, we can't once we get to this bit. So I don't think I will. Good thing this library doesn't have any escalators in it because we're sticking to the first floor. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm afraid of escalators. Are you afraid of like getting your shoelace cut and getting sucked in and things like that? I love escalators. Mostly because I'm lazy and I've got a bad back and bad knee. So stairs are kind of, you know, my natural enemy as far as personal comfort goes. Yeah, I like that. Now then, what are we going to do about these? That looks a bit weird, doesn't it? And I don't think using glass all the way up is going to look particularly good. Should try it there. Maybe iron, actually. Use iron fences. Yeah, that looks just a bit weird. I'll try iron, though, because I feel like we do need some support here, just visually. So I have good news. Starting on the 30th here in the US, I begin training for airport security. Ooh. In what facility? Are you going to be one of the little gate bitches? Having to go through people's... Where do you think you're going? Having to go through people's luggage? So, no, that's shampoo. You can't take that on board, you idiot. Bottle of water? Nope. Too dangerous. Or are you going to be one of the backroom guys operating the x-ray machines for the checked luggage or something? My irrational fear is being in an elevator with a wasp or hornet. That would be an unpleasant experience. I'm not sure how common that is, but yeah, that sounds like a deeply stressful experience. Mostly because I'm allergic to some insect bites. Not deadly allergic, like I won't insta-die. But I do react kind of poorly to them. I was bitten by a jackjumper when I was a kid. Jackjumper. Not sure whether that's an Australian native or just what we call them. Kind of a... They're an extremely aggressive ant. Huge. I guess the Australian equivalent of a fire ant or something. Oh, we should go take a nap before it's nighttime. But yeah, they got the massive jaws on them, and yeah, one of those bit me when I was a kid. Just sitting in the dirt by the side of the footy oval. Someone bit my hand on a little soft spot, you know, between your thumb and your fingers. His hand swelled up like a goddamn balloon. It didn't hurt so much, it'd be funny, but they really hurt. I swear TSA has it out for my mum because she refuses to go through something. Can save pictures of her boobs without her consent. Well, apparently they don't store images anymore. I mean, whether or not that's true is another question. But yeah, the first generation of those backscatter X-ray machines stored the image, and then people like your mother complained. So apparently now they don't store that image anymore. Also, they say, who knows? It's the government, so they might just be lying. But are your mum's boobs really that nice, though? She wrote about that picture being shared? That looks pretty cool, actually. I like the way the little cap sort of joins on the glass there. Yeah, we'll do that. Or is it just the principle of the thing? We'll be able to tell if they do or do not for real. Wow. You might be able to. Maybe it's a secret CIA thing. They don't tell anybody it's stored, but just gets uploaded somewhere to a CIA or FBI database. Never know. It's government. The government! Don't trust him. Ooh, hang on a sec. Are we gonna come up on that glass, I think, aren't we? I did use full blocks of glass, so it does actually connect, so maybe it won't be so bad. Looks a bit weird. What if we do that? That looks weirder. Maybe we don't do supports on this end then. What if we went to the corner instead? Looks a bit weird in the corner there too. Alright, decision time. Do we not do supports on the top here, or do we move some of that glass? Kind of like the glass because you can see the tower when we come up here. And if we move that glass in by one, it would look... How centered is that? Actually, it's not even centered, is it? Look at that. We should move the glass out by one if we're going to do anything. Then that wouldn't line up with that anymore. So that's why I did that. I think we might leave it. It is only the top floor, so maybe that just doesn't need supporting as much. I don't know. No, I'm going to leave it as it is. All right. I think it's time to start placing out some bookshelves. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with everything else. She's a breast cancer survivor, so boobies are actually reconstructions, but the point remains, board CIA workers have something to get after. Alrighty. Ice the carpet and go away. Out of room for fences. Damn, dude. Alright, I'll put them there. Too much of you. I need that back. I think that's all we really need to start laying out. Oh, I'm out of chicken. I'm all out of chicken. It's unusually quiet today. What's up with that? I just realized it's really, really quiet. Don't hear any trucks. Don't hear my neighbors moving around. There's the apocalypse happening. Oh wait, I just heard somebody upstairs. There we go. Now I heard a door slam. Maybe I just wasn't noticing. I was too involved in my library making. Okay, let's see. I think I still want shelves to go in this direction. So, let's go all the way back across here, actually. We'll do a really big long shelf here. Is that on doubles? Yeah, that's at even. So we'll do a 2 gap there. 7. 3 gap there. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, and I think we'll leave this area open. apocalypse happened. And you were streaming. Well, what else are you going to do? Really enjoying dark mode and Excess Max. This way really does it justice. Yeah, I've only tried that briefly as well. I turned it off almost immediately because it also made my Twitter dark mode, which makes it more difficult to use. I like Twitter in bright mode. Maybe I can override it in the Twitter app actually. Maybe I can have the iPhone in dark mode but have Twitter on the light mode. Alright, how does that spacing feel? Pretty good. I feel like these are too close. Need a bigger gap there. That's better. All right. I think down the middle here we'll go bank up the other direction. Yeah, we'll come into another side so we get plenty of room in there. That feels pretty good. So I see how it looks. Let's see how it looks built up a little bit. Maybe we'll do these shelves only one high as well. Through the middle. Space them out a bit more too so we get a bit more airiness going. Don't want to make it too claustrophobic. Got all these windows in this place after all. So let's see if we can imagine this. Coming up the stairs. Do turn around. Yeah, I think a half height's about to go on this one so we can see over it to the stairs and things like that. And I might put a row of books against the back wall here. So dark. Can't see what I'm doing. Hang on a sec. Let's do this. Ah. Excited for the new Link's Awakening. I was until I decided not to buy it because of the price, basically. I'm really keeping an eye on the budget right now because I'm trying to find room in the budget to get myself to PAX Australia, basically. And paying $80, which is what it costs in Australia, paying $80 for a second remake of, what did we work out yesterday? 23-year-old game? Yeah, I decided that was one of the spaces I could stand to save some money. I'll probably eventually get the game, because it does seem worth playing. But not right now. Yeah, we'll do one here as well. Then we might do a big doubly one here. Yeah, that spacing feels pretty good. And while I think of it, what we just did there is make a bunch of spawn platforms. Let's do this until we get some books and stuff on them. Otherwise, next time we come back here, there'll be a bunch of creepers waiting. And that, as they say, is no bueno. Alright. I feel like we could probably do another double here. Give us some of that. Well, it does pull it off center. Move this one forward, I guess, but then it puts that off center for the stairs. I actually like that, the way it dips in like that. I think we'll leave it. Symmetry is not everything. I think I'm happy with that spacing. I'll wait until we get the books in and see how we like it, but for now... the carpet has a reflection because it's wet. It doesn't normally have a reflection. Like, that's how it should look. But because Minecraft doesn't know the difference between letting light through and letting rain through when it comes to glass, the carpet looks wet because of the shader thinks it's being rained on. Because that's glass right there on the ceiling. I don't know whether that's something that can be fixed, but it's been consistent in almost every shader I've ever used that has a wet effect for when it's raining. So I think it's just something inherent in the way Minecraft works that shaders can't really get around. But yeah, bugs me. 3. Did I do 3 on that side? I did 2. Let's do 3. Should I do it? Maybe... We'll make that a full height shelf and we'll do this one as a little double. On this side as well. As a symmetry is not a palindrome, it is not symmetrical, therefore symmetry cannot be a... You see, if I was designing the language, I certainly would have made the word for symmetry be a palindrome. It's like one of those weird English things, like, why is there no short other word for thesaurus? And why is abbreviate such a long word? I think up here we'll keep this mostly airy. Put more bookshelves along the walls on this one, I think. Also, I've forgotten what I just did. No spawning, please. Trying to put a torch down, doesn't work. I did light up the blocks, Swanky Bear. I just did. Are you slow or is the chat lagging a lot today? Look out. We're too late. Where did you spawn in? It might have come from the roof, actually. That is not at all spawn-proof right now. Just something I really need to do. I think I'm just going to use string on the roof to spawn-proof it. Don't think I'm going to carpet the roof. We should string it up, though. Stop guys walking down the stairs like that fella just did. I'm liking the general layout here we got down here. Actually, maybe I will put something here. Does look a bit empty, doesn't it? So let's what room are we dealing with here? Currently I'm 400 bits away from donating 1k bits. Bruh. Look at you being all generous to streamers. Don't think chat lag is lagging much. Cool. And that's something I haven't even thought about in ages. Once upon a time, Twitch chat was lagging like 30, 40 seconds behind. But I guess their new lag system is just sort of on by default these days. An experimental thing they'll try for a while. I haven't even thought about it in so long. Yeah, it used to be just a little bit awkward sometimes because chat was lagging. These days, it's just me not looking at chat when something important happens because I'm too focused on the game and people are screaming at me in chat. You forgot to do this! You should do this! You forgot! Over there! That thing! Huh? Oh yeah. Where? The what? With the who? And the why? Huh. Stop the rain. I came back for a thing. Don't remember what the thing was. Keep those on us just in case we need to make adjustments. Next order of business is we need to start making bookshelves. So let's check on the sugar cane again. Oh, string for the roof is what I was doing. Do I have any string left, or have I literally turned it all into wool already? Shit. I think I turned it all into wool, didn't I? Let's go to the spider farm and see how much I had left behind. Now I have the opposite problem. I've got too much wool. Low latency mode. It's on by default now? Yeah, I figured it would be. Seemed to work fine. I never had any issues with it, even when it was in a beta stage or whatnot. All the bits I've donated have been free. Oh, really? You've donated nearly 1,000 bits and they've all been bits you've earned by watching ads. That's awesome. So, is it still generosity if it didn't come out of your own pocket? I guess it was generous with your time. So it took time to watch enough ads to get 1,000 bits worth. That's even more dedication, I suppose. I mean, anyone can just give people money. You sit down and watched a bunch of ads to earn bits to then give to people. That's not nearly enough string, I don't think. It's a start, though. What I really should do is log into my secondary account and put my second character over near the spider farm so it just keeps churning. The last time I tried to do that, my LAN game didn't work properly. There's something weird about Minecraft and or my network, which means I couldn't even join my own LAN game. I have to try that again, though. I think that was an update or two back. Kezia is off to bed. All right. Good night, mate. Thanks for popping in. Hope you had fun. Hope you have a good night rest. Sweet dreams. Don't let the bed bugs bite. All that kind of stuff. I've suddenly realized I got the water breathing conduit effect thing. This is raining. Here it is. Conduit power. Guess we've got the conduit in the lake now. Down there. And we're close enough to it now that even when it's raining, we get the conduit effect. Which reminds me, I lost my hat. I don't know where or when I lost it, whether it broke. I remember it breaking, but my hat's gone. So I need to make a new diamond helmet and get water breathing and aqua affinity and all that kind of crap back on it. It was annoying. I finally got my hat the way I liked it. Took me ages to get that water breathing thing. I lost my own library now that the landscape's all changed. Which way are the stairs? Alright. Actually, there's not that much to string up here because I did a lot of glass, so maybe we'll be alright. Still going to need way more than what I've got, though. I might do this off stream and with the shaders turned off, because as you can see, with the shaders on, you really can't see that string unless the light hits it just right. This is going to be much easier to do without the shaders on. There we go. You can see it now. Remember I did the village the same way. When I strung that up, I had to turn the shaders off so I could see what I was doing. Blessing and a curse. See? Where'd all it go now? Is there a string there? The concentration required. Look at my focus face. Oh, that's it? Okay, we need way more. That's a start. Am I getting a switch light? Not as a priority. I would like to get one. But yeah, I just cannot justify that expense right now. Not even close. That's more like it. this much. A little bit. Aussies. Can't make paper in this. Need a proper crafting table. Golems, come on. Break. What happened? I looked away and blinded. I was putting string on the roof to help stop spawns. So we just got basically open doors to the roof into the library. If I don't string that up, we'll get the occasional mob spawning on the roof and wandering into the library through the stairs, which is not going to be fun, especially once I get the bookcases up and things can hide behind them. I'm out of books already? Damn. I don't know why I always forget just how intensive making a library is. It just costs so many materials. All of that. We got 29 bookshelves. Eek, Barbara Duke. You need a powerful CPU to run shaders. No. Some shaders are quite lightweight. In fact, there are shaders specifically designed to be lightweight. Let's go to sleep before we go over. This shader does, though. The ray tracing shader is especially expensive to run as far as CPU power goes. That's odd. There it is. My data pack wasn't working there for a second. But yeah, you can run some light shaders that give you an effect similar to this. It won't be exactly the same because it won't be ray traced or anything like that, but it will still make it look a lot prettier than basic Minecraft. But yeah, there are shaders specifically designed for low-end hardware and, you know, older laptops and things like that. That can certainly work pretty acceptably on modest hardware. Didn't light any of this up. This could have been a mob trap. Didn't realize that. So I'm just trying to decide whether I want this one to be too high. I think I do. What would you say the minimum for that shade? For this shader? I haven't done a lot of testing with it, but like I'm currently running it on a Ryzen 5 2600 with a GTX 1080, and you know, I'm running at about 30 frames a second, 36, 34. So to give you an idea, this is a very, very expensive shader to run, computationally speaking. Minecraft's standard on this hardware, you know, you'll get hundreds of frames a second. Even most shaders, you'll get 60 pretty easily with this hardware. Not this. Just light these up because they're empty on top right now. Man, those did not go far at all, did they? We got 3 shelves. All right, let's go get some slabs. And some lanterns, yeah. Just bought food. Ordered 1 medium pizza, stuffed cheesy bread, ranch and feta, 11-piece hot wings, 2 ranch cups. $30. Jeez. Yeah, that'd easily be a $60 to $80 meal right here, I think. Not all for you, is it? Doesn't sound like a healthy meal. What did I do? Is that all my oak slabs? Ah, there they are. No, not spruce. It is all for you. Jeez, dude. I mean, I'm no stranger to making a pig of myself. But dude. Oh, I didn't think this through, did I? Giving up on eating healthy? Well, I mean, there's choosing to eat healthy, and then there's just eating way too much food in general. Like, you can still eat unhealthy, but have a... I can't get past the fucking lantern. Reasonable, serving size. And again, I'm hardly the one to preach about this because I have historically been quite a gannet. And my serving sizes have been unreasonable, which is why I have never, ever been skinny in my entire life. And probably never will be, because I like food too much. But that meal you've got there, man, that's an extreme. Pizza does sound good right about now, though, yeah. I haven't had pizza in a while. Actually, I think I'd do chicken wings more than pizza right now. But again, try and desperately to scrape out as much room in my budget as I can to get the packs. Fancy, delicious food is one of those luxury items. I am on sustainability food right now. Stay alive without feeling miserable. So, you know, instant noodles, maybe with a fried egg on top if I'm feeling luxurious. Frozen meat pies. You get store brand frozen meat pies. Pack of 6, like $3.50. They're not great, but at least they're filling. Right, we're reaching that point where there's not much else I can do in the library until we get more sugarcane. Let's check the farm. Do they sell eggs there by the dozen? Yeah, you can get half a dozen or a dozen cartons. It's kind of standard how they're sold. If I had extra money to give you, Bunty, I'd do an apping. Sorry, does it sound like... I've just realized it might sound like I'm begging for or trying to tempt donations. That's not what's going on. I'm not trying to play the sob story guy. Like, I'm not at risk of starving to death or anything, to be absolutely clear. I'm trying real hard to scrape together enough budget to have a luxury trip down to PAX. Well, not even luxury. I might be able to afford a very good hotel, but a trip down to PAX. It's not like I've got medical bills or you know, shit like that. I'm just talking about what's going on in my life. I'm not trying to come off like I'm begging. But I appreciate the thought nonetheless. There. 6 more shelves. Hooray! 6. A dozen isn't very metric. Well, a dozen eggs predates the metric system as just a standard way to sell eggs. You can get, I have seen packs of 10 eggs though. Metric carton. You can also buy them in packs of cartons of 20, I think I've seen as well. Stroganoff is cheap and easy to make. Yeah. There's, I've had thoughts of making a nice little Irish stew. Make a big batch of Irish stew, because you can make that with very cheap meat. A few veggies. And it's extremely satisfying. So that's another budget food that but, you know, I just have to get around to buying the ingredients and making that, and I've been pretty lazy recently. Got a 36 pack of eggs the other day. Need anything not put in any weight. Increase metabolism is cursed sometimes. How old are you? If you don't mind me asking, or an age range at least. Are you still in your early 20s, late 20s, 30s, 40s? Because that'll change. Don't count on that forever. All right, Allie's like that too. She does not eat particularly healthy. And she just has never changed weight. She's always been this teeny tiny little thing. But she's coming up on her 30s in the not too distant future. So I keep teasing her she's going to get fat. I think she did pretty cute chubby, quite honestly. A little chubby alley action going. Actually, I kind of like how that looks. Looks a bit weird, but... Alright. Nap time again. That snuck up on me. You like Imagine Dragon? I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I do like several of their songs. They're not the most amazing band ever, but they've got some real catchy shit out there. No doubt about that. I don't eat unhealthy helps a lot. Well, of course, yeah, that'll help a lot. 34, so for me about 26 years, yeah. My metabolism has been fairly stable. Like, I eat the same now as I pretty much always have done. Well, actually not in the last year or so, because after coming off keto, I've been a little more aware of carb counts. Like, I haven't, you know, I'm off keto, so I am eating carbs again, but I've been more aware of exactly how many carbs I should be eating, so I don't balloon again. But, you know, give or take, my weight's been pretty stable all of my adult life. I just go hard on Beat Saber to burn the calories. Yeah. Surprisingly active game, that one. Right, let's think. What have I got to do here? Oh, we should check on this. Yeah, here we go. Extra bookmaking materials over here. It's coming up on summer here again in Australia, which means I might be playing a lot of VR. It just gets too hot. Just too hot for VR. Oops, that doesn't go there. What? Come on, what the? Alright, I'm busting through here. I gotta check out what's going on in my farm here. So I'm mad right here. Oh, would you just...
Hey, pat on the back. Pat on the back for this guy.
Duke is coming in with, ooh, 12-month resub. Congratulations on a year. Thank you ever so much. Why is that water not going away? Or was it this? It looks like it's all still harvesting. But nothing's grown to the ceiling. Is it... Am I jammed up somewhere in my collection? What's going on with my farm? Hopper's empty. Bubble stream's working fine. Yep. No problem there. Weird. Just weird. I need a bucket of water to fill that back up. Just tried Modern Warfare Beta. Oh yeah, I forgot that thing was happening. Somehow Call of Duty gameplay and graphics haven't gotten any better. Well, I don't know about somehow. That's... Did you expect it to get better? And if so, why are you so dumb? It's Call of Duty. I don't know what's up with the farm. Found its new engine. The game actually plays identically. WW2. Well, you know what? I wish I could care, but I just can't. I lost interest in COD just so many years ago. When you get the game, will you play Link's Awakening on stream? I don't know. Maybe. Depends when I get the game and how I feel about it. And... if I feel it's stream worthy, I don't know. Ordered the light for $1.99 with Link's Awakening. Nice. Bargain. It's a really good game. Well, I would assume so. They've remade it twice, so there must be a demand for it. Oh, there it is. I say, why isn't books there? They are. I've just gone too blind to see them. Trying to think of what the next shooter that I'm interested in coming up. I think it's got to be Doom, doesn't it? Doom is going to be my next shooter. Yeah. Man, we're going to need so many bookcases. I'm overdue for a break. All right, let me get behind the desk here. Zoop. Like that, so I can nice view. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, have a stretch, refill my water bottle, etc., etc. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. BRBs!